It's really important for people to talk to Nick like a normal human being. A lot of people, when they see Nick, they just think that he has a mental disability or, he has some kind of disability that's not just physical. And Nick's disability is purely physical. His brain is completely there. He's a totally functional human being, and people tend to talk down to him. They talk slower to him. They kind of baby their talk with him, and it gets frustrating for him, definitely, because he knows he's capable of answering very intelligent questions, and so it's hard, I think, a lot of the time for him, because people don't understand that he is a normal person on the inside. It's just on the outside, like physically, he can't be who he wants to be.
His mom was told, I should say, that he would never walk or talk or be able to do anything because he was quadriplegic cerebral palsy. And they didn't realize that if you make him work, cerebral palsy, how would you say it? It's if you repeat everything. Repetition. If you keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, they'll eventually be able to do it.
Working for him was a little different than just being around him like at a normal family function, because instead of me just hanging out around him, I would feed him, I would take him to the bathroom, I would just kind of cater to all his needs that anything he would need, I would have to be there for him and kind of be his hands. It was definitely an eye-opening experience. There were things, when you're a PCA that you don't expect to be as difficult as they are. And I just got very comfortable with Nick because having to be his hands and having to be his voice in a sense, it makes you really, really connect with the person, and you almost feel like you are them a little bit, Over the summer, it was really nice because it did feel like I was working for him, like he was my boss, but it also just felt like I was hanging out with my cousin during the day, and that was pretty cool, to get paid to hang out with someone who's your age, who still likes the same interests that you are interested in. He likes watching movies, he likes listening to music, so it's the same thing.
One day his dad came here to pick him up, and there had been a handicap showing of equipment at school. They had a bicycle there, but the bicycle was $1,150. I said, that don't look too hard to make. It was about 3 weeks later, then Nick told me, he says, when are we going to make that bicycle that you said wasn't so hard to make? And from then on, once we got that one made, it took us a day and a half to teach him to push on the pedals, and push on the pedals, the right pedal leg and the left leg and the right leg. And we had the pedals where they would move as you push the bicycle. And then I told Betty, when his mom came to pick him up that day to slam the screen door hard so that I'd know they were coming, and then I would send Nick out with a bicycle. And his mom just almost fainted when he comes riding out with the bicycle, and from then on, you haven't been able to stop him. He's been doing everything.
I didn't ever think that he would have his own lawn mowing business. He rakes leaves, he plows snow for people, he does so much volunteer work, and he's just such an amazing kid that it's just like, I never would imagine that anyone would do it. Even an able-bodied person of his age never, boys of his age just like don't go out of their way to do that kind of stuff, and it's really awesome that Nick can do that for people.
The guy that was doing the evaluating just flat out said he's never going to drive.
Yeah, you're never gonna.
Never going to drive. Well, that's all they had to say to him, because you tell him you can't do something and he's going to do it. A young kid, teenager, will never get past the first time. You're going to take it 2 or 3 times, and I said, especially with cerebral palsy.
I had doubts that he wouldn't be able to pass his driver's license, his actual test. I didn't pass it on my first time, so I was like, I don't know if, okay, my first 2 times I didn't pass my test. But I did think that, I thought he was gonna struggle, and I was hoping that they wouldn't look at him as someone with a disability when they were evaluating his driver's test. But in reality, I thought to myself, they're probably going to look at him and say, he better be dang good at driving, because they don't want to take the chance. But he passed with flying colors, better than I did on my first time. So, my first 2 times.
It took us probably a year and a half or so to train him to drive a car. We've made a bunch of different things for the car. It didn't have any of the handicap equipment, and he started driving on a regular van. Oh, in the car, well, we made some pedals, aluminum pedals for the foot feed bigger, and for the brake bigger, and when I was young, it was called a knicker knob, but he calls it a suicide knob. It's a knob on the steering wheel that you turn the car with. And then we made a seat belt so that he could hook the seat belt by hand, by himself. And and we redid the shifting lever on before, but now he's got a new system in there, and it's all computerized. So I don't even know how to drive it now. So, but otherwise, we've made a lot of things for his car.
You just like it when Nick comes, don't you, Michaela? Yeah.
Well, I think he's got a couple different
Nick
futures
was in
that he
what
could
grade?
do.
Probably
He also
7th
does a
grade.
lot of mentoring for cerebral palsy kids in the school district.
Right up here.
And he's got this one little Michaela that he has been mentoring since she's been in preschool, and he's told her parents what she needs as a cerebral palsy, because she has no use of her hands and her arms. Because he designed so much stuff and helped me build stuff, different pieces of equipment, that he's decided to take CAD, which is computer aided designing, in school, in college, and he really likes that.
Thank you for coming. Don't crash.
I see in Nick's future him getting a degree in college. He's working on his degree with computer science. And I think I can see him getting a degree, and I can see him having a family and succeeding in his business, whether it's lawn mowing that he does for a while, or he goes somewhere with his degree. He's going to be successful. You can tell that he has a bright future ahead of him. by the end of the day, after dinner time, he's pretty exhausted because a normal day for us is just a normal day. You know, we can get exhausted if we have sports to go to or if we do lawn work like that. But with Nick and with cerebral palsy, it's so hard for him to move his muscles that it's like the equivalent of like running a marathon a day. So by the time it does, you know, dinner rolls around and it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, he's just kind of exhausted. It's just really amazing to see how strong he is like of a person, because running a marathon a day is unbelievable. You know, it just doesn't happen. And with him, it's just like a normal daily routine.
Jesus, help the equipment into our home.
To adapt it.
In front of us, and we do a good job.
It isn't easy. No. It's trial and error. It's a process. Let's follow, right?
Yeah.